Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to our second episode of Testimonial Tuesdays. I am your host, Lanice Lee, founder and CEO of Presentation is Everything, LLC. And before we jump in with our guest for today, I want to let you know, of course, take this opportunity to go ahead and throw your business names in the chat. Any opportunity you get to advertise your business, please do so. So for my business owners, business leaders, entrepreneurs, and for today's special episode, any of our production folks, people that are in film, independent artists, please go ahead and throw the names of those your business in the chat. Provide a link for us so that we know that you are where to find you. So yes, let's get started for today. So our guest for today is Rodger Jackson, and he is the managing partner of Independent Network TV. And before we have Rodger come on with us, we want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to see a little bit of the work that they do. So without further ado, I will show you some of the work of Independent Network TV.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.
Hey, Rodger.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How about you? How you doing today?
Every day above ground's a good day. Can't complain.
Good. So welcome. So Rodger, we just saw a very short clip of some of the work that you guys do over at Independent Network TV. So tell me, how did you get started with this business and a little bit about the company and the work that you do?
Oh, wow. That's a very long story, so I'm going to try to shorten it as much as possible. I started off as an actor on a project called This Is Not Chirac with William Pierce. And from that, I just kind of gave some ideas and some pointers and stuff. And because my background is all business, he asked me to come behind the camera on the other side. And so in doing that, we formed a partnership with two other gentlemen, Noel Ackerman and Dr. Rodger Jackson, and we formed Independent Network Television. And we did that to house the project as well as give us the ability to help other people as well. So it's a production house, a post house, and then, of course, the streaming network, which you just saw.
That was a little bleep. We'll just ignore the fact that
it never happened.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Let's throw that out. So for us non-production-y folks, can you tell us a little bit like what does that mean? Like all those words you just said.
Well, see, here's the problem, and I'm a non-production person. My background is straight corporate. But basically, so on the production side, we can film anybody's commercial, short, feature film, that type of thing. The benefit of independent network television or INTV is that we own everything that we have. So we don't have to worry about, do we have enough equipment for a project? We have the 6K cameras. We have the Slate Raven for audio and ADR work. We actually have at our facility 3 editing suites that people can rent out. So we understand that while we're independent based, and we do projects for other people, there's some folks that may not really be able to afford our services, or they can do it themselves. It's like, I don't really honestly need you. I just need a place to do it where I don't have the wife or the husband or the kids behind me in my ear distracting me. So they can come out and rent a space as well for us. The post-production side, of course, as I mentioned, is all the editing suites that we have. And we have a team of editors that can handle that. And the streaming side is really what we put together, not really a moneymaker. It's funny, people look at like, well, how are you doing compared to Netflix? Come on, dude, we're brand new.
Right.
But But the purpose is that we notice right away the challenge that independent filmmakers have is getting outside of their circle. So, I use this example a lot. You have your premiere, you invite your family, your friends, you have your premiere, and then maybe you go to a film festival. And that's pretty much where it stops. You just can't get out of that circle. Well, we provide them with the opportunity to get outside of their circle. So people in Sweden, South Africa, Germany, all these places can watch their projects and get them more exposure. In addition to that, we also just started, we've been doing it for a while, but we started INTV Blue, which runs ads. So we support independent filmmakers, rappers, artists, musicians as well by running ads for them, sometimes anonymously. I mean, I've dropped $200 in the GoFundMe page anonymously just because I knew they needed the support. So it's not always about being seen and being known. It really is about giving back to the community.
Oh man, okay. So you just gave us a lot to work with. So not only are you guys like a one-stop shop where these artists, these, multiple types of artists, whether that's people doing film, people doing like rap and things like that, they can come to your space, either utilize your space for their, projects and work on it themselves, or you have a team prepared to assist them in their editing and filming and all the things that they need to do, right?
Correct.
Now, you mentioned at the start of this that you have the corporate background, right? But you also get a little bit of acting. Is that what kind of ignited your passion to do this work?
Yeah, it did. It did. I started off acting late in church, but I was blessed enough that the church I was at, the pastor let us do any play we wanted. I mean, so we had murder mysteries. We had, kissing. It wasn't just all baby Jesus type of things. So that kind of was my passion for that. And then I moved over to some commercial work, and then a couple of shorts. And then, of course, everybody does their background. But background is phenomenal because you get to learn the other side of it, the things that you can't learn in class or that people don't share with you. And I enjoy it. But I have to admit, once I got on the other side of it, I really, really love production, even more than I do being in front of the camera.
Okay. So that was definitely a shift. So I'm going to just apologize to the people. My light is moving. I get some feedback.
You can't control the sun, Lanice. And hey, this is production. Light
Listen,
happens.
Okay, maybe if you had hosted it for me, I wouldn't be having all these troubles today. But that's all right. We're going to keep going and fight through it. At some point, I might reach over there and try to adjust them blinds, but whatever. Okay. So a couple of things that I heard you say too is that, so you have partners that work with you, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about like what is the most challenging part about, having a partnership, and also what's the most rewarding part about having a partnership?
Well, the most challenging part, obviously, is just the differences of opinion. Diversity has its strengths and weaknesses in everything you do. So you have, in our case, 4 men with really strong opinions that want to voice their opinion or their ideas and say, we should do it this way. I think we should do it that way. We have one core statement that kind of rules everything: is value added, negative impact. And that takes all the emotion out of it. Okay, you have an idea. What's the value added of your idea? What's the potential negative impact? And we write it out on a whiteboard. And that way it kind of removes any emotion I may have to my idea when they've pointed out, hey, it's a great idea, Rodger, but look at all this potential negative impact that you have on the other side. And the benefit, of course, is just the strength that you're not doing it alone. I don't edit. So regardless of how great I think I am, whatever ideas I have or whatever I'm looking at a project to take on, I have to look at my editors and my partners and say, is this possible? Is this something we can do? How do we do it? What's the time frame on it? And just, vice versa. They want to take on a project like, hey, we got this great project. I'm like, well, wait a minute. How much is this going to cost us? What's the investment? Where's the liability in this project? So it really does help with that as well.
Okay, so y'all got some balancing now. Like
we're balance. And we found there's one thing for everybody. Anytime we get a disagreement that really, really just goes to the top, we go to breakfast. Bacon and eggs solve every disagreement you will ever have with anybody. It's hard to argue when you're having breakfast with somebody.
Unless I'm a vegan. So then.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Okay. So we'll find me a plant-based,
there you
thing
go.
and solve it.
Yeah, maybe you can't argue over salad. I've never seen that.
Okay. Awesome. So you got these complementary skill sets, right? So you got, you come in with the business sense, you have your partners there and they have, know more of the technical sense and the artistic sense. So tell me, what made you reach out to Presentation is Everything, right? Like, you guys have these various skills. So what kind of sparked the need or, the push to reach out to an organization like mine?
The best example I have is, you ever walk into a store and it looks great, the shelves look neat, it smells great, the lighting's perfect, and that's what you see. And then you go to the storeroom and the boxes aren't necessarily labeled. They're everywhere. There's people running back and forth, screaming at each other. And so that's kind of where we were. We can get the project done. We can get it on time. We've never gone over budget. We're a debt-free company. So that side is good. But on the back end, I am juggling because, corporate is a completely different animal than this is. And so it's like I need somebody to kind of look at where we are on the other side and see where our pitfalls are, but also look at me and honestly say, Rodger, this is what you don't do well. And this is how to correct it. And I got real thick skin, so I have no problem with somebody telling me, hey, dude, you're messing this up. This is the best way to do it. Okay, let's move on. I'm grown. I don't have time for the other silliness. And you were able to come in and do that and realize that we do have 3 parts to our company. We have production, we have post, we have streaming, and actually 4. We also have real estate because we rent out the suites. We rent out our stage room in the back with the green screens and that type of thing. So we have a lot of people coming through and renting out the space as well. And so you were able to kind of streamline that and help us look at it and segment it out and give us the tools that we needed. So now I can, for the most part, look at things and operate it smoothly. There is no business plan for a pandemic. So we had to pivot a lot of things, but because we had met you and worked with you prior to that, I'm in a position to do that now.
Awesome. And you just mentioned something that I feel like was super key, which is we're in a pandemic right now, right? So your business was one of the ones that was greatly impacted by what's happening in the world, right?
Yes.
I think like folks that are working in the arts and, people that are working in hospitality, like they were really hit hard because, productions came to a stop, you could no longer be in those different spaces. So tell me a little bit about, and help our audience here. And also audience, please make sure to ask any questions you may have. Don't forget to put your businesses in the chat so that we know who you are and you're here and you get this free publicity. But tell us a little bit about just kind of how you went into making those shifts to stay relevant and to, keep going during this pandemic.
It wasn't easy because most of it is production. The biggest challenge we had obviously was, okay, we're making the decision not to push forward and do a lot of projects. If we do, how are we going to do that? With the testing, it was still kind of new. And so we decided that we would stop all production completely and then shift to mostly post-production work. So we're taking in post-production work, commercials, private business, industrial type things, and that kind of is keeping the bills getting paid. Also with the streaming, it gives us the opportunity to help other individuals and put their projects out there. So we have, B. Cole put his comedy channel out there. We have Jay Davis put his animated series on there to get more views. So we're able to still do that. Those are still moving fine. Obviously the rental space, we've scaled down. We've rented it out twice, but it's been like 5 people in a big room. And also we have a private bar, which is one of the benefits of our space downstairs. So people have filmed down there, but it has 3 industrial fans that suck out everything through filtered air. So that helps a lot. So we're able to really operate there again with 3 to 4 people. We're not talking about a set of 20 people down there. But yeah, the pivot was really, really difficult because production is really where the bulk of the business is. But now we've just switched over to the post-production side. I have not been at the office in a year, Lanice. This is a challenge for me. What you see, I'm in my home office, and I have been here since February of last year.
Okay, so Rodger, you playing it real cool, but some of the things you said were like big things. Like you guys had to make some significant adjustments and essentially reduce your like primary revenue stream in order to make adjustments for this pandemic. Yeah. So we got just a few minutes here left. But I really want people to know, like, for the business owners out there and business leaders, like they are facing some similar challenges as this, right? Like it's not just that a pandemic is happening, but it significantly is affecting their ability to grow and change and, reducing their revenue. So what advice would you give them first and foremost? And then also, shameless plug, how instrumental has bringing somebody else in who has that, that knowledge, myself, to help you push forward? How has that benefited you?
So the first part is you have to be able to look outside of what you normally do. You really have to think outside the box. I know it's cliche, but we really had to look at a lot of other things. One thing I didn't mention that we did do is we went online to streaming our shows to where, like I partnered with 220 Communications, Glenn Murray and Keisha Rose, where we have the Man Cave Show, we have Books and Bottles. So we have shows that we're producing, but they're online. And so they were really, really helpful in partnering with somebody to help us get that done. And so you may have to look at this time and say, you know what, I've been doing this by myself. How can I partner with somebody to do this? And how can I stretch my company? As far as coming out to you, you were beyond instrumental, because if I didn't have the tools that you put in place, I would still be in the storeroom running back and forth with unlabeled boxes trying to figure out, what do we do next? Okay, how much money do I make here? What does my budget look like? You know, you streamlined our budget so we know exactly where we are and how much we can pay, what we can afford and what we can't afford. And it makes those decisions for me a lot easier. I know I'm talking very fast. I apologize.
No.
But it really, really is helpful. And for anybody that has a small business out there, this is the perfect time to call presentation everything, because everything comes to a halt and you're not moving. You're always doing something. If I can't physically move, I can think. There's a lot of mental space that I have that I can operate in. And that time with you is going to help them streamline their business, not only so they can move in the pandemic, but the minute things open up, or even open up a little bit, they'll be able to take off. You know, you don't use this time wisely while you can.
Fantastic. So Rodger, thank you for that. Just definitely some excellent advice that you just gave us. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. But I want everybody to know, again, if you have a business, if you're an independent artist, please, drop your business name in the chat here so that we can know who you are, and we can definitely follow you and, give referrals and things of that nature. But also, if you have enjoyed the advice that you've gotten, if this broadcast has been beneficial to you, please do share. Ignore any sound issues or lighting issues, and share the information.
Just relabel it, the silhouette challenge. That's all you have to do. See, there you are.
Hashtag silhouette challenge.
There you go.
Fantastic. Awesome. So Rodger, thank you so much for being present with me today. Thank you, audience, for being present. And we look forward to seeing you guys again on March 2nd for our 3rd episode of Testimonial Tuesdays. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.